Ioshua Chapter 1. Now after the death of Moses the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Ioshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore rise, go o'er this Jordan, thou and all this people, then to the land which I do due to them, you and to the children of Israel. Your place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that how I drew unto you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, you unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses. So I will be with thee, I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong, and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to do them. Only be thou strong, and very courageous, that thou mayst observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand, or to the left, that thou mayst prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayst observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. How not I commanded thee? Be strong, and of a good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest.
Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, saying, Pass through the host, and command the people, saying, Prepare you victuals, for within 3 days ye shall pass o'er this Jordan, to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God giveth you, to possess it.
And to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, spake Ioshua, saying, Remember the word which Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, saying, The Lord your God hath given you rest, and hath given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your cattle shall remain in the land which Moses gave you on this side Jordan. But ye shall pass before your brethren armed, are the mighty men of valor, and help them, until the Lord have given your brethren rest, as he hath given you, and they also have possessed the land which the Lord your God giveth them. Then ye shall return unto the land of your possession, and annihilate it which Moses the Lord's servant gave you on this side Jordan toward the sun rising.
And they answered Ioshua, saying, All that thou commandest verses, we will do, and whithersoever thou sendest verses, we will go. According as we hearkened unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto thee. Only the Lord thy God be with thee, as he was with Moses. Whosoever he be that doth rebel against thy commandment, and will not hearken unto thy words, in all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong, and of a good courage.
Chapter 2. And Ioshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to speak secretly, saying, Go view the land, you and Jericho. And they went, and came into an harlot's house, named Rahab, and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, Behold, there came men in hither tonight of the children of Israel, to search out the country. And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country. And the woman took the 2 men, and hid them, and said thus, There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out, whither the men went. I wot not, pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them. But she had brought them to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Iordan Vento the fords, and as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate.
And before they were laid down, she came VP Vento them upon the roof. And she said Vento the men, I know that the Lord hath joined you the land, and that your terror is fallen von verses, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried VP the water of the Red Sea for you, when you came out of Egypt, and what you did Vento the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side Iordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye surely destroyed. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man, because of you, for the Lord your God, he is God in Ho and Abou, and in earth beneath. Now therefore, I pray you swear unto me by the Lord, since I have shewed you kindness, that ye will also shew kindness unto my father's house, and shew me a true token, and that ye will salue my father, and my mother, and my brethren, and my sisters, and all that they have, and deliver our lose from death. And the men answered her, Our life for yours, if ye fear not this our business. And it shall be when the Lord hath joined versus the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee. Then she let them down by a cord thorough the window, for her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. And she said unto them, Get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned, and afterward may ye go your way. And the men said unto her, We will be blameless of this thine oath which thou hast made versus swear. Behold, when we come into the land, thou shalt bind this line of scarlet thread in the window which thou didst let verses down by, and thou shalt bring thy father and thy mother, and thy brethren, and all thy father's household home unto thee. And it shall be, that whosoever shall go out of the doors of thy house into the street, his blood shall be on his head, and we will be guiltless. And whosoever shall be with thee in the house, his blood shall be on our head, if any hand be on him. And if thou for this our business, then we will quit of thine oath which thou hast made verses to swear. And she said, According unto your words, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet line in the window. And they went, and came unto the mountain, and abode there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the way, but found them not.
So the 2 men returned, and descended from the mountain, and passed o'er, and came to Ioshua the son of Nun, and told him all things that befell them. And they said unto Joshua, Truly the Lord hath delivered into our hands all the land, for you and all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of verses.
Chapter 3. And Ioshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim, and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed o'er. And it came to pass after 3 days, that the officers went through the host. And they commanded the people, saying, When ye see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests the Levites bearing it, then ye shall remove from your place, and go after it. Yet there shall be space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed this way heretofore. And Ioshua said unto the people, Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And Ioshua spake unto the priests, saying, Take VP the ark of the covenant, and pass o'er before the people. And they took VP the ark of the covenant, and went before the people.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, This day will I begin to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. And thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, When ye are come to the brink of the water of Iordan, ye shall stand still in Iordan.
And Ioshua said unto the children of Israel, Come hither, and hear the words of the Lord your God. And Ioshua said, Hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Hewites, and the Perizzites, and Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Ibusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant, you and the Lord of all the earth, passeth o'er before you into Jordan. Now therefore take ye 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of Uri tribe a man. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of Iordan, that the waters of Iordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from Abu, and they shall stand on an heap.
And it came to pass when the people removed from their tents to pass o'er Iordan, and the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people. And as they that bear the ark were come vento Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, for Iordan overfloweth all his banks at the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from Abu stood and rose upon an heap very far from the city Adam, that is beside Zeredon, and those that came down toward the sea of the plain, in the salt sea, failed, and were cut off, and the people passed o'er right against Jericho. And the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Iordan. And all the Israelites passed o'er on dry ground, till all the people were passed clean o'er Iordan.
Chapter 4. And it came to pass, when all the people were clean passed o'er Iordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Take you 12 men out of the people, out of Uri tribe a man, and command you them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of Iordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them o'er with you, and load them in the lodging place where you shall lodge this night. Then Ioshua called the 12 men, whom he had prepared of the children of Israel, out of Uri tribe a man. And Ioshua said unto them, Pass o'er before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Iordan, and take ye Uri man of you a stone on his shoulder, according unto the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean you by these stones? Then ye shall answer them, that the waters of Iordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed o'er Iordan, the waters of Iordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial unto the children of Israel for you. And the children of Israel did so as Ioshua commanded, and took 12 stones out of the midst of Iordan, as the Lord spake unto Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them o'er with them, unto the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. And Ioshua set 12 stones in the midst of Iordan, in the place where the feet of the priests which bear the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there unto this day.
For the priests which bear the ark stood in the midst of Iordan, until everything was finished that the Lord commanded Joshua to speak unto the people, according to all that Moses commanded Ioshua, and the people hasted and passed o'er. And it came to pass when all the people were clean passed o'er, that the ark of the Lord passed o'er, and the priests in the presence of the people. And the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh, passed o'er armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. About 40,000 prepared for war passed o'er before the Lord unto Bethel to the plains of Jericho.
On that day the Lord magnified Ioshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him, as they feared Moses all the days of his life. And the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, Command the priests that bear the ark of the testimony, that they come out of Iordan. Ioshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, Come ye out of Iordan. And it came to pass, when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord were come out of the midst of Iordan, and the soles of the priests' feet were lifted unto the dry land, that the waters of Iordan returned unto their place, and flowed o'er all his banks, as they did before.
And the people came out of Iordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal in the east border of Jericho. And those 12 stones which they took out of Iordan did Ioshua pitch in Gilgal. And he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, When your children shall ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean these stones? Then ye shall let your children know, saying, Israel came o'er this Iordan on dry land. For the Lord your God dried the waters of Jordan from before you, till ye were passed o'er, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried from before verses, until we were gone o'er. That all the people of the earth might know the hand of the Lord, that it is mighty, that ye might fear the Lord your God for your